Hi guys, welcome to my YouTube channel. This is Life with Teacher Party. Welcome back. I've not been doing so much work. I had to attend to my masters. Yeah, guys, but I'm back. This is a topic I've been willing to share with you since last month. We've been talking with my career coach on presenting this. She says, no, man, you're very knowledgeable on this space. You need to share it with the world. You don't even need to get the guest speaker to share. You've been around, you know, this is like, okay, then let's share this. And I want us today to talk about if you're looking for employment and you're not finding it, reflect. Take the time to reflect. Take your time to reflect. So, guys, you know, when I do videos, my daughter is always around, okay? So she just wanted something. Okay. So take time. If you've been applying and applying and applying, take time to reflect. And then try this instead if you've not tried it. But if you've tried it, then it's a matter of we keep on doing what we've been doing if it's right. Eventually, you're going to break through, okay? Task one, there's going to be a series of tasks that I'm going to be talking about. But the one I want to talk about today is you carrying yourself as a brand. You see, when you're looking for employment, you have to understand one thing. The job market is literally a marketplace. Like when you go and buy bread, let's just take Pick n Pay, for example. If you're going to buy bread at Pick n Pay, it's a marketplace. It's the buyer meeting the seller. Pick n Pay is the seller, the buyer is you, and there's going to be an exchange. Okay, so the literally like that. You looking for employment, it's you entering the job market. There is limited buyers, which is employers. They are buying your skill. They are buying your expertise. They are buying your time. They are buying your knowledge. So get that right. And then there is so much supply in South Africa, so much supply, vast supply of skills. And it's easy to be bypassed. It's easy to be overlooked. It's easy to be ignored. It's easy not to meet the standard. It's the truth. There's so much job, there's so much skill supply in South Africa, but the demand from the buyer side, which is the employer, it's limited. There's limited jobs in South Africa. There's limited vacancies. There's limited internship, but there's so many people looking for employment. If we're looking at the stats now in 2023, I'm doing this in September 2023. If you're looking at the quarter two, there was 7.9 million people unemployed. So that includes those who completed matric and are not placed anywhere, graduates, those who are still actively looking for employment, those are too old to work. So nonetheless, it looks around about over 30%, the unemployment around about 32%, which is high. So if you're this lady looking for employment, how many people are you competing against for that one job? Like you're looking at millions. You're looking at millions. So competition is not even now the 10 people that get shortlisted. Before it gets to the 10, there is a bigger pool you are chosen from that you need to stand out from. Oh, Lord, I don't want to preach. You know me by now. I don't want to preach, but like, how fair is the game? You competing against so much people. Some are more skilled, some are not that skilled, but they are good in other aspects, you know. And if you're looking by province, Eastern Cape has got the highest unemployment, followed by Mpumalanga and Northwest. Okay, Western Cape is the list that has unemployment. So sometimes please just look where you're located. If you've been looking for work and you're in the Eastern Cape, try move to the provinces where there's less employment. It just improves your prospects. Sometimes you're crying, but the positioning, where you are positioned, is just doing you injustice. So if you're looking for work and you're in a province where there's high unemployment rate, and you've been part of the statistics, migrate to other provinces that have got less unemployment rate. Maybe, just maybe, your chances might improve, okay? So now you know you're competing against a vast majority of people who are skilled, not skilled, experienced, not experienced, but it's just not about you, this thing. There's a bigger pull, and you have to stand out in this bigger pull. So I want to give you then the breakdown. I want to give you then the illuminance in your mind, or the awakening in your heart, on how then do you stand out, knowing that the competition is tight, by virtue of economic circumstances in our South African economy. Okay. The CV, we're living in a digital age. And, when I started looking for employment, it was 2008. I remember my CV, first time I went to an interview, I remember my CV, it was paragraphs and paragraphs and paragraphs. And it didn't even have a photo of myself. It didn't even have a summary of where I stay, what's my number, what's my contactable email address. I think at that time we're using Yahoo. If you are unemployed, in your CV, please put your latest mobile number. I'm not lying to you. I've worked as an accountant. Now I'm an academic, okay? I placed my CV on Pinet many months ago. I always get agents saying, hey, we've got this job. Are you interested? It's either they're contacting me via WhatsApp. Today I'm not even applying, not applying. I'm well placed in academic. I want to grow in academic. So I'm not even applying for employment. I get a WhatsApp saying there's an accountant role. I'm like, oh, my accountant days are gone. They are over. I'm a teacher, I'm a lecturer, but now I referred with my friends. But how did the person get me? Because I was not applying. The last time I applied for employment is when I was applying to be a lecturer, which was last year. So I'm not lying. I've not been applying because I want to succeed as an academic. How did the person then get to WhatsApp me? To WhatsApp me, which was like, wow. Uh, how did they get to WhatsApp me? They found my CV in some uh, search engine, in some job engine, where I put my CV long time ago, and I put my number has not changed. My email has not changed. The other one 2 weeks ago contacted me by email saying, hey, are you interested? And I'm like, I've not applied. Guys, your CV must always have your latest cell phone number, latest email address, the ones that you check, the email address that you check that is linked to your phone, your Gmail address preferably, the one that notifies you the same way WhatsApp, the same way you get notified of WhatsApp, okay? And talking about your CV, I remember when I first, going back to the story, when I first got to my first interview, it was an agent in Rosebank, a very experienced lady, very experienced lady. I'm not being racist, guys, but I will use this person's uh, but it was a well-informed white lady, guys, and I'm not trying to say other ladies are more informed of different, no, but just get on this. The reason I still remember that lady, I don't remember her name, but I still remember her face. If I can see her in a mall, I'll say, hey, thank you. I remember the way she was so compassionate, trying to make me, she was a senior recruiter. She wanted me to understand how the job market works. And I remember she said to me, I saw your CV. I wanted, sorry, that's my daughter. And she says, I saw your CV and I wanted to speak to you. Your CV does not say much about what you know, and you're a new entrant in the job market. So I want, when you're saying at that time, filing was still a job, guys. I don't want to lie. Filing in a storeroom, companies then still had storerooms and all. And I remember in that internship, I did filing. I did lots of filing and also answering admin queries. And I remember the lady said, if you were doing filing, I want you to be specific for me. What type of files were you doing? And I said to think, oh, it was actually Provident Fund claims that we had to file after they've been settled. We had to make it a point that the tax is sorted correctly. The biological details like name, gender, and everything, all these personal details, yeah, not biological, English, personal details. So I had to write what exactly I did on the filing, what exactly I did on admin. And then it says, because when we search as recruiters, we don't search by name. Aha, now you must know that. She said, we don't search by names. We search by the job spec we got from the client. So if the client says, I'm looking for a creditors reconciliation, they must be able to do a recon, they must be able to do supplier reconciliations, verify suppliers. They will just upload that in the engine. And then the system will pull whoever has the CV lying on the internet who did that job. Then your name comes up. That's how the job market works. Okay, I like clapping a lot. I'm born again. I love Jesus and all. So it's going to end up being a churchy experience. Sorry about that. It's just me. But now look at my CV. It's quickly the experience. Lecturing, auditing, and accounting, coordinating accounting, level 1. I should have added also coordinating. No, I didn't coordinate auditing. Actually, I taught auditing, so this is correct. I remember when I was still in fund accountant, in my fund accounting, see multi-million funds of accounting for JSE companies, which is true. I did that to think that I didn't even, oh, Jesus, oh, Lord. Unabantu bakho Thixo. Oh, oh, hey, Jesus, we've been through the most, but we succeed. You know, overseeing external audits, SaaS reporting, DST compliance, annual financial statement. So when the recruiter goes to whatever engine they're using, Peanuts, Careers 24, and all, they will just type in these things that their client wants, the job spec and the responsibilities this person must perform for the client. And that's when your name comes up. So if your CV is not really specific in a detailed but also summarized version of what you know, your CV is not going to stand out in the pool. Okay? Also, the next thing is I just want to go show up and show off. That's the next thing. Okay, my slides are not in no particular order. Okay, so after your CV is proper, upload it on search engines, guys. Your CV must be on Pinet. Your CV must be on Career 24. Your CV must be on LinkedIn. Your CV, it's better. Guys, let me advise you something. It's better to put your CV on these job search engines because when you're not looking, your recruiters are looking there. It's better to put your CVs. It's better to put your CV on LinkedIn. It's better to put your CV on the recruitment agent's site. That's what I was looking for, because you'll find, you know, I remember when I was looking for employment many months ago, I could not find where we're supposed to send the CVs to when we're applying. I remember it was still, I will use this name because it's a very good company, and I'm not even harming their brand, but I'm just seeing how this thing worked. I remember there was a company then that was called Communicate Personnel. I don't know if it's still there. And I know that they wrote the company name and the person responsible, but on that site, I think it was on Peanut, I couldn't find the email of that person. So I went to Communicate, and I found that it has got many branches. And I remember sending to many, that was way back, I think 08, 09. I remember sending to many recruiters that were there. And I was answered by a recruiter at just after Eastgate, I think it was the agency at Eastgate, and I went there and the person interviewed me. So guys, on top of you putting your CVs on these search engines, go to the website of the recruitment agencies. Find the specialists that deal with your niche. If it's finance, IT, just put a nice email explaining your situation, attach your CV. These agencies, they call you not because they've got a job in mind, but just to see you and sort of vet. Whenever they get a client that wants a person, you stand out. This is the job market, guys. It's demand meeting supply. If you think you're shining in the corner, you're gonna be recognized by someone miraculously. Keep thinking that this market doesn't work that way. You stand out. You show up and show off. Okay, so when you are invited for an interview, show up and show off. Guys, it's post-COVID economy. You're going to be asked to show up physically. You're going to be asked to show up virtually. Whatever your employer chooses, honor that. Honor that. It is known that, okay, we don't have money every day, so data is expensive. A taxi fare is expensive. But do not be arrogant to that level of saying, how many interviews am I going to go through before I get hired? That's arrogance, guys. Show up. Sometimes it's the first interview, the second interview, the psychometric test. By the time these guys are taking you, you already owe a friend 100 Rand, another friend 200, another friend 300. You already owing the network providers data that you borrowed. Oh, and it's a whole effort. But show up. Show up. I once had a cousin of mine that was invited for an interview in Joburg. It was 2020. She was invited for an interview in Joburg, and she was in the Eastern Cape. I remember she said, "Oh, my baby." I remember she said, "I told them I can't come tomorrow for an interview. I can only maybe make it Tuesday." I was like, "Bruh, how many people are looking for jobs in this tight economy? You think they're going to make an exception for you? No, they're not. They're not. They're going to take the next one in the line." I remember saying, "You are going to be there in that interview. Call them and say you're coming tomorrow." And it's like, how? Like, hey, we will use faith. God will provide. You're going to be there. Fast forward, she was there for an interview physically. So guys, show up and show off. Don't be saying, I'd love to attend the interview, but I do not have any money with me. Guys, yeah, just a moment. I need to charge my laptop, you know? Um, I need to charge my laptop. I need to charge my laptop. It's going to switch off now. And the devil is a liar. Is not gonna win. You need to get employed. Okay. Let me just see if it's charging. It is charging from the current side. Okay. So guys, show up. It's so easy to say, I'd like to attend the interview, but I don't have data. Guys, network. If you don't have data, your neighbor has data. Your sister has data. Your brother has data. Don't have a mind of limitations. Have a mind of possibilities. You want to stand out. You want to show up. You want to show off. You are a brand. And a brand is just sometimes perception. If you see possibilities, that's your brand. If you see limitations, that's a brand, but then it's going to harm you. Interview comes, be punctual. Be punctual. It's I've got a friend of mine, and then she often says, she often says there was a colleague of ours that she needed to hire, and what stood out was the hair the person had, and she was thinking, so okay, and it to her it represented some form of religion, and she was a bit worried about, is he going to take instruction from a woman? So guys, please be professional, because your image is an unspoken language. It's really an unspoken language. Your punctuality is an unspoken language. If you're on time, it means you're a person that takes things seriously. So if you're not on time, it means you never take anything seriously. You don't have a sense of agency. You do not have respect. Because being late unjustifiably means you just don't respect people's time. You don't take anyone seriously except yourself. Even you don't take yourself seriously. So be on time, look the part, and have a firm handshake, guys, but not the one that squeezes oxygen out of people, and not also the floppy cold fish handshake. You know the right one. You've been interviewed, but have that handshake and the eye contact, guys, please. And also use a polite language. Say, ma'am, say you're looking for work. Don't even make it about what colonization and decolonization. This thing. Uh, if you know their names, please use their names. But for me, I always stick to the same ma'am because I don't get people's names firsthand. So really, so please still whatever that communicates being polite. I'm not saying there must be a race card now in this. I say, say, even to an African counterpart like me, like say, like, because I'm not the one person to remember your name first. And so what is just judge for me. Judge this for me. Okay, I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna say anyone to who's my colleague, even if you're my boss, you're still my colleague, work for the same company. Cool, given, that's right. But can you imagine this is not related to work, but there was a time where I called an auditor Gloria. I said Gloria, and she was not responding. I said, are you not Gloria? And she said, no, I'm not Gloria, I'm Itu. Imagine saying that in an interview, saying like what Gloria said, and Gloria is not Gloria, Gloria is Itu. So guys, please be an active listener. Switch off your phone when you show up. There's nothing as embarrassing as a phone or an alarm going off in an interview. Listen actively. Give people eye contact. Listen actively. Lose your fear. It's not going to do anything. Lose your fear. It's not going to give you a job. If it was so good in getting you anything, you would have been a billionaire by now. So clearly fear doesn't work. So lose your fear. Don't have to think, oh my God, I'm so nervous. An interview makes me nervous. Hey, I see you. I see you. In the name of the Lord. Lose that. Lose that behavior. It's not going to get you anywhere. That's false humility right there, and I rebuke it. Okay? Stay calm, composed. Stop being sarcastic. Sometimes I used to be sarcastic and I learned, oh, Jesus. And this thing, like I just laughed now and you're like, oh, Jesus. For me, it's a natural demeanor to actually laugh at something or actually see the fun out of something. You can't carry that in an interview. They want your serious self. I learned to stop sarcasm the moment I had to attend board meetings, because there you must add value. And I was like, oh, Jesus. Like, you see what I'm saying? I'm like, oh, Jesus. For me, it's so natural when I'm shocked to say something. I'm like, how Jehovah. You can't say those things in an interview. You can't have sarcastic or negative comments. You can't avoid that. Positive body language. Practice before the mirror, guys. Practice the sitting before the mirror, like chest out, all these things. You guys, you're unemployed. You need to mirror, so do the work. Practice positive body language, smiling, being interested, you know. So show up and show off, guys. This thing of being interviewed online or interviewed personally, guys, take it seriously. An online interview, take it as if it's a physical interview. I remember, and also if it's an online interview, check your load shedding schedules. Guys, check your load shedding schedule. I have a friend of mine. In fact, we got hired when our career transitioned to teaching. We got hired at the same time, and I remember he says, "I had load shedding." He didn't check the schedule. He had load shedding, and he thought, "What's the next thing?" The next thing was KFC, the nearest KFC. He went there to have an interview. And I'm thinking, imagine you're having an interview and they say, order 3213, order 3213. But you gotta do what you gotta do to show up, nah? Show up. If you know you're going to be load shed by the time you have your interview, move to another location that doesn't have load shedding. You're not competing against yourself. You're not the best thing that happened after peanut butter. That's rude. That sounds rude. That sounds insensitive. But listen, there's someone better than you behind you. If you think people are gonna make exceptions for you, think again. There's oversupply and there's limited demand. So the limited opportunity you get, make up for it. Make up for it. Don't go on carrying yourself as if you're the only one in South Africa. You're not the only one. In fact, the employer's got so much options, and you're one of the options. And if you're not meeting their need, they move. Like, it's just the nature of the market. It's ruthless. I want you to get that the job market is ruthless. It's not going to baby you when it doesn't need to. It's not. You think you're the best thing in your community, at university, in your previous school, in the marketplace. It's a dog world. It just won't work that way, that because you can't be available, so exception must be done for you. It doesn't work that way. It doesn't. Okay? Sorry if I used a strong tone, but we need to get somewhere, right? We need to get somewhere. Okay. Know your worth. The CV is right. You've showed up and you've showed off. You are on time. Guys, we all at some point have used taxis or buses. Take the first bus. I was once called for an interview in Sandton. I think it was 10 o'clock. And I was working in Rustenburg. And my Toyota Test died. Did it die or was broke? No, I was broke. That's right, I didn't die. I didn't die. I was just calculating, like, I don't have 1 point something for the first interview. What if I get the second one? And actually worked that way. So I was like, I'm going to take a bus. I remember that bus was leaving 5 o'clock. I still had a boyfriend then. Poor guy. He had to take me to the bus stop. I got the bus 5 o'clock in Lida. It arrived somewhere around 6 o'clock in Rustenburg. Took a taxi. I was in Joburg by 8. By 8:30 or 8:45. It was not in Sandton, that interviews in Parktown. I remember I was in Parktown from Rustenburg using public transport. So don't have this thing that these taxis will strike and all that. Guys, show up and show off. It's an interview. Show up and show off. So once you've presented yourself, you've carried yourself, please try to answer all questions in an interview. Even if you're not sure, don't revert to saying, I don't know. Rather say, repeat the question. Don't say you don't know. Hey, guys, we don't know what made the pig fat. Yes, but as far as one noticing, so try, even the answer close to the right one, use it. Don't say you don't know in an interview. Don't say you don't know. Don't say you don't know. Even if you know that, this one, I'm making it up in my mind right now. In Jesus' name, go ahead, use your faith. Use your faith. You don't know if someone can try to correct you and you copy what they just said and you give it back to them. Try. Don't say you don't know, okay? The next thing is know your worth. Guys, know your worth. There's that question that you always get in the interview that says, how much are you looking for? Before you go for that interview, if you're being interviewed for an accountant role, check the cost to company for accountants in South Africa. It's between 450,000 to 800,000. And the difference is made by designation, by professional designation, by education, and by experience. The top tier accountant sitting up there is your chartered accountant. And then all the other brands, It's a mix, it's a fight, it's a pull. So know how your skill is rated in the market. Do not shortchange yourself. If an accountant is paid 500,000, why are you asking for 250? It's the job market. It's demand meeting supply. Go to Pick n Pay now. Look at bread. Your bread is varying from 15 rands to 19 rands. It's the market price. It's the market price. Why then would a supplier sell bread at 7 rand? Not those no-name bread, no, but the branded ones. Why would then they sell? You wouldn't buy it. You'll think it's poor quality, it's rotten or something, because the market just says bread must be between 15 rand and 19 rand. It's the same in the job market. Don't think by asking less from your employer, you're going to work less. It doesn't work that way. If the employer wanted an accountant that is able to do A to Z, you're going to do that with that 250,000. You think you're going to negotiate with the inside? No. The budgets are reviewed once in a year. In a financial, your request is going to come, you're going to cry on deaf ears. So get in on a high band. If you want the 500,000, negotiate on it in the beginning. You think you can, don't listen to that like people saying you should have taken the job, you are going to negotiate inside. With what budget? With what budget? It gets reviewed. If they got you cheap, you're going to stay cheap. It's just the market. Get it in your mind. It's the job market. Okay? Know your worth. Don't be excited by, you're getting an employment as a security guard. They're saying your cost to company is 11,000. That's not the money you're taking home. That's just the total is costing the employer to have you on board. You find that your take home is 7.3. And you're like, I've got a family. I can't live on this salary. Get the dummy pay slip. Get the dummy pay slip. If what you're taking home is not making sense, negotiate. Negotiate. It's still on the onset. You still have power. It's not when you're already inside the company, you've not signed the contract. It's the market. It's the buyer and the seller. So know your worth. Know what's included in your cost to company. There is this thing now of medical insurance versus medical aid. Know your worth. You might be thinking, I'm paying less medical aid. Surprise, surprise, you're sick. You find out you can't be admitted at a certain hospital because they still don't take medical insurance. And you're thinking, oh my God, and I only thought my medical aid is 700. Know your worth. Know what is medical insurance. Know what is medical aid. Know your provident fund and your pension fund. Know the bursaries that your employer is offering. You don't want to be, I remember, you guys have been around. I remember I got some job many months ago, and I remember telling the agent that the job I want, it must be at this range, and there must be a bursary offered by the employer. I remember the lady said, oh no, they've got the employer. Oh, guys, Midrand people. That agent was in Midrand. Yo, Midrand people. I remember, guys, hey, Jesus, this lady sold me the moon and the stars. Hey, I got hired. The first thing I asked, because I was studying sim at that time, the first thing I asked my then boss is like, can I apply for the bursary? I said, what bursary? I said, no, the agent said you've got a bursary, staff bursary. And then the guy says, no, there's nothing like that. And I called the agent, listen, you said there's a staff bursary, and they said they don't have it. And I remember the lady was so arrogant. No, you have to prove yourself. You have to be nice to your bosses. Maybe they'll take you seriously. Nonetheless, we are here now. Know the allowances, know your car allowances. Some jobs come with car allowances and all that. Know the tax effects. Don't be just excited. I got a car, I got a petrol card. Hey, SARS doesn't play. Know that. Know the impact. Okay? Know your worth. Don't be that desperate to a point where when they're giving you peanuts, you think it's food. Peanuts is not food, it's snack. And that depends if you're not allergic to nuts. So please don't be taking nuts. Don't be. If you're the caviar type, request caviar. Carry yourself as a brand. What is the brand anyway? Because I've been talking about it. So a personal brand, it's your image, your reputation, your perception that you create about yourself and that you promote about yourself. So we don't know. We sometimes think we're living life passively. It's not. People are watching. So people are watching how you're carrying yourself, how you're presenting yourself to the world. I think my brand is more spiritual and more educative, more developmental, more nurturing, more soft skills orientated, more eloquent, more, that's just people who know upatis. It's either they know the spiritual lady that loves God, that loves Christ, that loves Jesus, that loves preaching the word of God, teaching the word of God, or people just know a person who will be there to advise you what to do next in terms of career, in terms of wealth, in terms of education, or people just know a person who's always there. So my brand has always been that. It's how I've always presented myself to the world. People who know me from work, they know me as a committed person. They know me as a person who will sleep at work to get the work done and just go home, leaving things ending, hanging. This is just me. I think when it comes to my work ethic, mine is around commitment. I commit to the task at hand. It's very natural for me to commit. It's very natural for me to give it my all. That's my personal brand. That's how I've presented, and that's how I continue to present myself to the world. I'm a daredevil. I'm a person who sees opportunity and growth and development. Like, this is me. Now, who is you? What's your brand? What are you presenting to the world? Sure, many of us have got become degrees. That's not enough. You need to bring more. You need to give the degree plus. You need to give the certificate plus. You need to give the diploma plus. Okay? So, what do you stand for? So, it's not something that you're going to learn now to be talkative as part of if you're an introvert. It's not you. But what do you present yourself as? I know a guy I once dated. Did we date? Yeah, we did go on a date. So it qualifies as a date. So, but I remember I looked at his profile now, because the last time we saw each other, we're still in high school. We're still in high school. So this guy I've not seen in decades and is resurfacing, and then he is interested in a relationship. But I remember he was a player in high school. That's the brand. He was a player. He was hot for girls who were interested in that. What I was interested in high school, it was my books and my Jesus. So really, it was not. I didn't date anyone in high school. Eastern Cape High School, it was grade 10, 11, 12. So 3 years I didn't date anyone in high school. So the brand he had was the brand of a player. Any girl that was beautiful, that cared about a handsome guy, he was the candidate. But now I remember this guy is resurfacing, and I'm thinking the brand he presented to me is of a player, and the brand I carried in high school. So you think brand is starting now? Student, your brand starts like very early. Well, there's no late time on doing a brand, but the earlier the better. The earlier the better. Okay, so Alma said you don't start doing brand now and think it's going to work now. Actually, that's true, because really your brand needs mileage. That's just how it works. So if you start changing your ways today and you think tomorrow there's going to be change, no, work on it. Give it months, give it weeks, give it years. Your brand needs mileage. It just needs mileage. It's how people know you. It's how you've presented yourself to people. This is just how it works. Okay. So this guy then wants to have a date with me, and I remember we've got different brands. His brand, the brand I have about him is of a player. Okay. That time we're still not taking alcohol. Okay, I don't take alcohol, but in terms of age, really, all of us were not taking alcohol. We're still school students. And now the brand he has about me is of a born again, staunch, serious lady that's just looking for marriage, that's not willing to play and all. So he wants now to commit and is thinking, I must get, umzalwane, that lady that wears the high heel, lo sho hallelujah qala. Oh, Jehovah, brand Kosian. I need to take water on that. So now I'm thinking this is an old brand that I have of him, and we share a common friend. And this friend now is selling a brand I don't know. He's focused, he's doing his CTA, just completed his training article in the Big Four. He's bought property, and now he's really, this guy is really advancing. And I'm thinking, player, growth, brand, player, brand, growth, brand. This is possible. We've not seen each other in a decade and a half. That's almost 15 years. It's possible to reshape yourself and all. Cool. Now I go to his social media to check the brand. Hey guys, I remember seeing in his social media all the pictures of him and the friends boozing. They were boozing. They were them saying location now is this lounge. I'll never say that lounge is a popular lounge. Like I went as far back as 3 years to look at the brand this person is carrying now compared to what I was sold by our common friend. Close the door. Perfect. Close the door. So now I'm trying to match these two brands, guys. I remember thinking, so now on top of being a player, now there's the alcohol brand. And I remember my heart sank and I never took him seriously after that. Fine, he came for the interview because I agreed. The brand again, he was wearing a jean, he was wearing a tired t-shirt. Now, guys, I'm a very easygoing person. If you know me, I'm not a dresser myself. But if you called me for a first interview, not interview, a planned date, planned first date, I will put up the effort. Really, not unless we just met accidentally. But if it's a planned proper date, I'll put the effort. I'm not a dresser myself. But how you present yourself to the world, how you take yourself as, if I may just say for the purpose of this podcast, how you present yourself as a person, as a product, oh guys, it goes a long way. Okay. And this is how you present yourself professionally, personally, in multiple platforms. So that's just in a nutshell what your brand is. It's your reputation, your image, and your perception, and how you present yourself as an individual to the broader world. So you see now, you need to have a very strong bell. You have to have a strong brand in order to penetrate the job market to your favor and to your satisfaction. Okay, so your reputation and everything. So where do we say most often your brand if we don't know you? Because chances are your recruiter, your prospective employer, they don't know you, but now they're getting you on board, or they're thinking of getting you on board. How then do they meet you before they meet you? That's where your social accounts come in. Your Facebook, guys, be mindful of what you post in Facebook. Be very mindful of what you post in Facebook. I think we just go in there thinking it's my space, respect my space. There's a trend now, it's my data, it's my data. Guys, this is a job market. Because there's an oversupply of skill and there's a low demand by employers, look, they will dictate what they want to see. They want to see professionalism. They want to see professionalism. I mean, I know we're in an age where everyone is a content creator in one or the other platform, TikTok and all that. Mind what you do there. Really mind what you do. Don't use it for less thoughtful content, but do it so that it enhances your brand and what you stand for. And you know, when you're looking for employment, this is very important. Your LinkedIn profile. It's very important. It's very important. Let it have a photo. Let it have a photo. Let me show you mine. I never took seriously my LinkedIn profile up until I went to academia. Because most people I wanted to present certain topics for me, I had to emit them through LinkedIn. And now I had to be mindful of who I am. Look, the brand, it's Teacher Party. I'm developmental, I teach, I'd like to be known as that teacher party, and to put a nice photo, a very relaxed photo, so it reflects me. I'm a very relaxed person, naturally. And I remember what I had to do. I had to connect. I've got 500 and more connections I had to connect. And it was people above me. So it was not people in my level. It was people above me. And I had to share some of my work. It's okay, to have answers, invalidations. How do you deal with them? There's so many things I've shared on my LinkedIn. There's so many things I've shared on my LinkedIn. Fitness, holistic fitness, fatherhood at an early age, be gentle and loving towards yourself. So this is already showing the employer what type of a person I am. Before I even meet them, it shows my education, my previous work experiences, my professional affiliations, and I got recommendations. I'm still looking for recommendations from colleagues who are very influential, but who have worked with me. Guys, get your LinkedIn profile. Like, it must just be proper. Your Instagram must just be proper. Don't be posting photos of boobs falling out now and you think someone is going to take you seriously after that. Please, please. I mean, if you're a student, then you're not looking for employment yet. But guys, once you mind what you post. Mind what you post. Have a YouTube account. Mind what you post. This is who you're presenting yourself as to the world. Okay. I propose you use your social media to enhance your brand. Like my social media, you've seen my LinkedIn, my Facebook. I share what I share on YouTube. I've got 2 YouTube accounts. Let me show you now. So there is accounting. There is accounting with teacher party. That's my accounting voice. Okay. Because I remember when I came for an interview here at the university, there was a question. They said, "Oh, I've got 356 subscribers." Okay, that's nice. I remember one of the questions, so it's 9,970 views. So we're clocking our 10,000 views very, very soon. I remember when I started here at the university, I remember one of the questions that were asked by the senior, I think she is fed up from me. She said, how will I use digital innovation to enhance the student understanding on particular topics? And for me, it was very easy because I was already digitally sensitized in the previous school I was teaching. And by the way, how this channel came about, my grade 9 students were not taking me seriously in class. Grade 9s after break, I don't know what juice they drink, but they come high. Like, grade 9 teachers, raise your hands. Like, woohoo! Teacher party is telling the truth. Like, they come high. Grade 9s are high after break. So I used to have periods after break, actually. And I used to have hyper active kids. So I remember that when I taught the first time, I was like, okay. So when I gave homework, I used to mark homework. And I used to be that teacher that marked homework. I used to be that teacher that marked homework. And I could notice that, Shem, what I taught versus what they write. It's the North versus the West. And I was thinking, then what can I do then to make them grasp concepts easier? And I figured out I'm teaching them at 2000. This is the digital group. This is the digital age. And this is how this account was born. It was born when students were not listening to me. I said, if you will not listen to me, I will teach stones. This account is 1 year, few months old, and it already has almost 10,000 views. Okay, so now my brand is more of an accounting teacher, is more of a person that explains concepts. And I remember when I did this, I was not even looking for many. You see, some even have 3 views, two views are not even looking for breaking boundaries in terms of their young accountant. I was not even looking for making millions and millions of millions and millions of views. I just wanted those who cared to listen to find something, a person who's passionate about the subject. And I remember my biggest sellers is still mastering corporate governance for a grade 12 learner, because I was struggling with that topic, and also how to get distinctions in accounting. So this is the brand. This is who I carry myself as in the social media space. So the other social media account that I'm growing now, which my career coach advised, that you're bigger than accounting. She said that you're bigger than accounting. It's Life with Teacher Party. So this is where I talk more about life, religion, psychology. Okay, by the way, I don't do Christian psychology, so don't confuse me to that. No, it's religion, Christ only, Christ-centered only. And sometimes I'll talk about psychology, so I'll not infuse the two, okay? Also many aspects of life. What makes you happy? And I've been discovering that it's many things that makes people happy. Some it can be fitness, some it can be fatherhood, some it can be they're naturally born happy. And how do we keep track of our happiness? I once was depressed, and I've conquered depression through Christ Jesus. And it's a very beautiful journey that I like and I'm proud of. Like, I think I carry the same brand as Zolega Mandela to talk about the struggle of depression and all, and how I came out of it on the other side, to a person who was so scared, thinking I'm losing life. And I was not. And it's 491 views. So this is who I present myself as. So how do you present yourself? Do you have a voice? Do you have anything because you're going to be asked some interview questions as to, do you know that question that says, tell us about yourself? They're not asking where you were born, raised by a single, but no, they don't care about that. They'll just not make it specific for psychology reasons. The question there is, tell us about your brand. Now you should understand that question easier and better. Tell us about yourself is, tell us about your brand. Who are you as a brand? Now, you're not going to be talking, I was born in Lusikisiki. I went to Palmerton High School. I went to this university. I did my... Look, there's many people who came from somewhere who did something. But who are you as a brand? Carve your niche. Okay? And the other part I want us to look at, guys, is references. It's so easy to put your last boss as a reference. And you know very well that you didn't get along with that lady or with that guy. Take them out. They're going to sabotage you. Take them out. They've got you where they want them. Put a reference, a person that you know is senior than you, and you report it to that person, and they are a person of a good heart. So they'll never sabotage your opportunities of employment. Okay? So, guys, please, your references, ask for their permission. You know, it's very surprising to get a call. I remember I worked with interns a lot when I was still an accountant, okay? And interns were so respectful. They'll say, Sis Patsy, can you be my reference? And they'll say, okay, I went to an interview. This person is going to call you. It's so good because now you've got their CV, you've got their latest CV, then you can talk about something you know. Even though when people are calling, when they're doing a reference check, they're more interested on the soft skills of the person rather than the technical. They will have maybe, if it's 100%, the questions will be 30% technical. The 70 will be just about soft skills. Send your latest CV to your reference. Let them not thumb suck on where you are now, what you've done. Okay? Send your latest CV to them. And also, I need to reduce my daughter's volume. And also ask for their permission. Ask for their cell phone numbers. Like I used to have a reference that I worked with in Bryanston 10 years ago, and I had to ask his cell phone number. Thank God I had to ask his cell phone number. I'm not sure if it's still working, but can you imagine if I took down the landline number? Like the guy quit before I quit in that job. So what was going to be the situation? Just put cell phone numbers. People change jobs. Put cell phone numbers. But highlight the company where the person worked and what they were to you in that company. Don't put your mom as a reference. Don't put your cousin as a reference. Don't put your friend as a reference. Oh, guys, you know yourselves. Please, please. Image. When you're looking for an interview, guys, look the part. I want to show you some research I was looking at. Oh, Jesus. Actually, before the social media part we're talking about, this is the research. It's not my work, it's a research that was done by Sage Publications. It says we find that candidates with the most beneficial Facebook picture got approximately 38% more job interview invitations and 21% more positive reactions in a broad sense compared to candidates with least beneficial picture. This surplus of favorable Facebook picture was higher for the highly educated and when recruiters were female. Moreover, except for one picture used, we could not reject the variation in Facebook profile pictures affects positive callbacks with the same magnitude as variation in resume pictures. So guys, if you still think I'm making up stories, you are appearing with a beer bottle on your Facebook profile. Don't do that. Don't do that to yourself. If you're looking for employment, you're a brand. You're going to stand out and break the unemployment stigma by being a reputable brand that another brand is willing to partner with. It's the market. I cannot overemphasize where the space you're in. It's a market that you're in, okay? So image. It's not this one. Image. Oh, I think I closed it. But it was an article that I read that it shows when you dress up appropriately for the first interview, it leaves the good first impressions, and it also sends volumes about your reputation. Now, image, guys, you know, in South Africa, coming from an era where we are fighting for the way we look as Africans, where now we just saying it's okay for me to show up in a board meeting with my afro, of which before we had to straighten and straighten and look up a certain way. Dreadlocks, now it's normal. It's so normal to have afro dreads, so normal to have tinted colored hair now going for a board meeting. It's not as strict as before because of the many movements that have happened. I know a former colleague of mine, I'm not going to mention by name, he has this thing, he wears that in meetings. Guys, there is so much broad image normal for us in South Africa and also globally, okay? But please look the part. Please look the plight. Look the part. Look the part. Wanna get a 500,000 job? Look like 500,000. This is just one dress. This type of a dress, you can find it. You can find it at Pep. You can find it in Mr. Price. You can find it in Jet stores. You can find it, guys. You can find it in these retailers that are very affordable. But dressing it, your confidence will make it look like a Louis Vuitton dress. Don't shortchange yourself. I know, close the door favor. I know there was one intern, guys, if you think I'm making up stories, I've been around. There was one intern, that intern, I wonder where he is in life now. I should contact my former colleague and ask what happened to this young man. I remember This was when he was employed. I don't know if he wore that when he came for the interview, but this was when he was employed. He was wearing jeans, and he was asked by the employer to stop wearing jeans. And then he said the employer must give him money to buy cotton trousers. He doesn't have. This is the only trousers he has. This is a person who's got a stipend. Okay. And I remember thinking that, oh, it's a long way ahead. That's why I'm passionate about young people. And if there's anyone who I'm doing this podcast for, it's young people. I'm so passionate about them because sometimes miseducation can cost you a valuable opportunity. So image, guys, is not necessarily having that weave, having look comfortable, professional, and beautiful. Someone can say, I don't have a figure to show off in a skirt. Wear your dress. Someone will say, I don't like dresses. I'm into pants. Wear your pants, but be professional. Be neat. Look presentable. Look comfortable. Look confident. Above all, I mean, you can even wear a pink shirt now. We're no longer that strict black and white when you're going for an interview. You can even wear a dress. I remember in my late interviews, I've been going for a dress and I'll just toss in a jacket. This is from a person who doesn't like dressing, like, really? I'm having your best interest at mind. I do not really like dressing daily, but look, when I'm going for an interview, I go for a kill. I buy new clothes, you know? And I'm a person of secondhand. I love secondhand clothing. So if I've got a nice dress from secondhand clothing, I will rock it up. Okay. The employer doesn't need to know. Flexibility. Guys, we've talked about image. Look the part, put on that lipstick. I know you hate it. I know some love it. Beat that face if you want to beat it. If you don't want to beat it, but just moisturize it, put in, look the part, stand out. If there's 12 of you, how will they remember you? Do you think they'll say, oh, it's Humutsa here? No, they'll be like, the one with the pink shirt. They'll be like, the one with the blonde hair. They'll be like, the one who couldn't walk normally on heels. The one that had a deep voice. The one that answered everything. Remember that they don't know your name, but they will know what you've done and how you've presented yourself. Get it now? Oh, I'm really, guys, but I'm just being overtaken by passion. Guys, be flexible. It's post-COVID economy in South Africa. You're likely to be asked, do you want to work from home or do you want to work online on the office? Don't be that rigid person that says, no, actually, I prefer to work in the office. This online thing doesn't work. Sometimes, remember now, this is what maybe you guys are not aware of. Post-COVID, companies have cut their office space deliberately. Because why? Remember, commercial property charges rent. Think of it now, apply yourself. Commercial property charges rent per square meter. So if you're not going to be having the full staff complement at any given day, why pay for more square meters? Reduce that. So this needs you to be flexible. Check the network coverage where you stay. Don't be like, I'm in this township and the electricity is so bad, so can I just work in the office instead? Try to be flexible. Try to be flexible. You're not stagnant in that township, in that suburb. You can always move and find a better place where there's coverage, there's network coverage. Remember, this is a job market. There's an oversupply and the demand is low. So in this case, Mohammed must go to the mountain, not the mountain going to Mohammed. Okay? It's a proverb. I'm not undermining any religion. Okay? Your eloquence. When you're going for an interview, guys, remember I said you can't say you don't know. Even answer, even though you're like, oh, guys, I'm making this, just answer. Don't say you don't know. Practice eloquence, guys. Like I talk a lot, so eloquence is natural. But there are people who are introverts. There are some graduates who are not used to talking a lot, except that, hey, guys, practice eloquence. For an interview, you're not going to use a sign language, not unless you are deaf. But if you're not deaf, you need to talk. So practice eloquence. Practice presenting yourself. Don't be that person that, yo, I don't know what to say. Can I get water? Oh, what was the question? Hey, practice eloquence. Practice eloquence. Look, I remember when I was still working as an accountant, most of my finance managers sat in meetings. I sat in interviews there. And to make it worse, in the post-COVID economy, they sat in interviews with their laptops. They're having interviews the whole day recruiting to filling a post of an accountant. But these people are in an interview and they're sending you emails. Have you done the reconciliation? Can you give me the reconciliation to review it? These people are in an interview meeting, and I'm thinking, shame, poor child, busy breaking English, speaking the Queen's language, and the boss is actually working while they're interviewing them. So now, if you are doing the oohs and the ahs and the A's and the water and the can I breathe, can I get air, tell me the truth. After you're done, what those people are going to remember about you? They're not going to remember anything because they're multitasking. So command their attention. That's all I'm saying. Command their attention. Engage. Engage. Okay? Whilst you're being unemployed, guys, it's so easy to fall on the trap of updating statuses with your loss, how things are not working out for you. I propose you use your time wisely. I once stayed in Joburg. Now I'm based, guys, in closer to Joburg. I will not give you the specifics, but I stayed in Joburg, and in Joburg, it's a very beautiful place of opportunities. Clinics, fire stations, you will find people bayaменgodonga, they're just next to the walls, busy on their phones. And I never understood this trend. In the morning, in the afternoon, people are busy. And then I used to ask, are these people not scared that I'm a para, like the guys who are, and I'm very sensitive talking about that because you know what, it's sad, but it's sad. So those people who are overly taken by addiction now, they are doing wrong things and all, like crime and all. And I'm very sensitive about that because no one chooses to be in that state. No one chooses to be in that state, but life happens. And I used to think now in these areas, are people not scared of people coming mugging them off their phones? And then I don't know who told me that, no, it's free Wi-Fi. They get free Wi-Fi. Guys, if you go to Udemy, if you go to I know I've tried this with Udemy and also Harvard. Do you know you can do a Harvard course online free? You didn't know that? Yes, you can. You can. There's those edX courses they've on at Harvard. I know at Udemy you can type in a certain topic that you want to learn about. Let's say Microsoft for beginners. If you're looking for an accountant job and you don't know Microsoft, you want to practice at home whilst you still apply. Microsoft for beginners, and then mostly and then you choose those. There's even a certificate of attendance you get from Udemy. It's free because you will choose zero, the ones that says none to zero. You'll find a very good instructor. I took a career coaching and a life coaching and a grief coaching course for free in Udemy. Guys, use your time wisely to upskill yourself whilst you're still on the job market. Study online for free from good course instructors. There's Coursera, there's Udacity, there's Pluralsight, there's Allison. Use your time wisely to invest on a skill related to what you are looking for and also for hobbies for your mental health, okay? Manage and leverage on your networks. Guys, There's this saying, I remember I was taught this saying, I'll mention this guy, it's Lihlonolo Patrick Maile. We did become together first year, 2005. So I'm old, guys. Yo, I'm a fossil. And I remember he used to brag and say, it's not what you know, it's who you know. And that is proven to be true. That is really proven to be true. And I always say, not everyone has become accounting. You think it's going to make you stand out? It's become accounting plus. It's Bachelor of Engineering Science plus. It's Bachelor of Pharmaceuticals plus. It's Bachelor of Education plus. Okay? So it's Bachelor of Education plus your brand. It's Bachelor of Education plus your social networks. It's Bachelor of Education plus your personal networks. Guys, it's who you know, not necessarily what you know. Network virtually. Go on LinkedIn. Go on LinkedIn. Let me show you what I do when I'm looking for a speaker for my educational programs. I search here as a psychologist, if I want to interview a psychologist. It's going to give me a list of all people who've got psychology profiles. And you connect with these people. That's networking. I go, guys, just at your fingertips. It's there. Connect with them. You'll be so surprised how many executive board members came back to me when I wanted them to teach about a certain audit subject. And most of them got back to me and they were busy. They said they could not be part of what I'm doing, but they acknowledged and they responded. I already have a network. So whenever I want them, I can pursue them till they listen. Okay? So remember, it's not what you know sometimes, it's who you know. I know a cousin of mine drives an audit firm. I'll mention her. It's Akwana Sankela. We did a YouTube podcast together on networking, and this is how we work. If someone wants an accountant, because I've been an accountant and people know that I'm an accountant, so people still think I practice in accounting and I don't. So I don't anymore. It takes so much time and I'm concentrated in becoming an academic. So what a person does, okay, Pat, we need 1, 2, 3. And I'm like, okay, here's my cousin, call my cousin. This is how I don't take any accounting work, I give it to her. I'm her network. But when it comes to developmental content and anything else I need in terms of content and expertise, she's my network. So she does work for me. So guys, I've met people, I've got a very rich social network, by the way, and personal network. And actually, I didn't know, I only realize it when someone is asking something and say, look, I'll connect you with so-and-so knows this. Guys, it's not necessarily like right now I'm telling you there's recruiters that have been looking for me and I'm not looking for employment. But people who are in my network who are looking for employment, I've been referring them to these guys that are kind of networks. Sometimes if you are in a network of Asembesho Mngani, or if you're in a network of Mabashiswa Mngani, if you're in a network of slaying, Brian ain't gonna get anywhere in the job market. It's who you know. The next person you must be knowing must be able to be hiring anyone. You don't want that network. You don't want that network that's not progressive. You want your life to progress. Change your networks. Reassess your networks. If when you are closer to the cousins that change your networks. Befriend those that don't want to talk to you. It's fine. You're not doing it for love. You're doing it for employment. Anywho's, let me love and leave you. I hope this has helped you in your search for employment. There is a Bible verse. Not without one. There's a Bible verse because I need to pray. Ecclesiastes 1 verse 6. It can't be 66. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong. It says, sow your seed in the morning. Sow your seed in the morning, and in the evening, let your hands not be idle. And for And for you do not know which will succeed, whether this or that, or whether both will do equally well. Ecclesiastes 11 verse 1, cast your bread upon waters, for after many days you will find it again. Hey, Jesus. Give portions to 7, yes, to 8, for you do not know what disaster may come upon the land. If clouds are full of water, they pour rain upon the earth. Father, we thank you for your word. It shall not return to you void, without fulfilling the work which you sent it forth to do. In Jesus' name, amen. Guys, the Bible, the word of God is making this clear. Sow your seed in the morning, in the evening. Let your hands not get tired. Let your hands not be idle, guys. I know it's tiring to be sending your CV all over the show and you do not get the call. It's tiring to be spending your money attending job interviews till the 3rd level, the 4th level. You do not get the employment contract. It's tiring, but God has given you the command. Sow your seed, consistently sow, and with diligence. Cast your bread upon waters. It might seem like it's foolishness, sending your CVs 10 times a day, no call. If it's 10 times a day and there's 31 days, it means you've sent your CV 300 times. No one comes back to you. In a year, you've sent your CV 4,000 times or 3,500 times. No one comes. I know you're crying now. It's okay. Let it all out. Let it all out. You're sending. No one is coming back to you. It's tiring, but the Bible says, cast your bread upon waters. After many days, you will find it. What I've learned with God is when you plant a seed, it comes back to you. It might not be at the time you expect it, but it comes back to you. It comes back to you. So I pray for you now. I pray for you that you don't get tired no matter how many rejections, no matter how many promises, no matter how broke you are. I pray you don't get tired. I pray for the Lord to give you strength and enlarge your territory and give you a mind of possibilities, not a mind of limitations. Don't stop. Don't stop. The Lord is saying continue. Continue planting your seed. Continue talking to those managers. Something is going to open. In Jesus' name, amen.